Hey, thanks for slithering in. I am Symtherin. Welcome back to my channel and welcome on in if you are new. Today we are back at it with another installment of our starter home series. Over here on this channel we are building starter homes with just base game plus whatever pack that the world we're building in came with. So today we are in Strangerville, which actually came with the pack of the same name. Strangerville is a game pack that is very focused on gameplay. Some strange stuff is happening here and it's up to us to figure it out and defeat the mother plant. I'm very curious if any of you guys have actually played through this storyline. Let me know in the comments down below. I have seen Let's Plays and playthroughs of this, but have never actually done it myself. It does look a ton of fun. I just, I build and that's pretty much where I live. Naturally, I had to do a little Victorian home because a lot of the items we did get with this pack are very Victorian forward, especially a lot of the windows and even these columns up here. Whenever I do a Victorian home, Strangerville comes in handy. However, I never really used any of the green swatches, so when I pulled out these columns here and paired them with the picket fence, in the green swatch, I was very curious to see if I can pull that off, and I feel like I did. I don't know, you guys are gonna have to tell me. And let me know if you think this build fits into the style of the world. There's a lot of like shotgun homes around, at least in this part of the world. There is a part of the world where there are bigger mansions and things, and I have actually built a base game and Strangerville home up there a while ago. It was the Strangerville Victorian that I built for the Sims 4 Better Together collab, which was super fun, so you guys have to go and check that out. It was like a couple of years ago. Nope, just 1 year ago. Just kidding, I just looked. I know I keep talking about how crazy time is and how, especially this year, it has just flown by, but I can't believe that was only a year ago. It almost feels like a lot longer for some reason, but maybe that's just me. Anywho, how has your weekend been so far? I hope you guys are having a great day as well. I'm posting this up on a Sunday, and Sundays are my favorite day of the week, even though the later half of Sundays really sucks because I get the Sunday scaries and I'm like, oh no, a new week, ah. But Sundays are pretty much the day where I tell myself, no errands, we're not going to do anything, we're not going to see anyone except for the people who are in my house, which is really just my boyfriend and the dog and the cat. But I try to get a lot of my chores done before Sundays so that I have so much more time to sit down and build and just play in The Sims, because I don't get that much time during the week sometimes, and I just need to have that time for myself. I think it's very important to carve that time out for yourself. Random story too, I've also started doing like crock pot meals on Sundays, so when I wake up I get the crock pot going. I love breaking the crock pot out during the fall season. I haven't made a soup yet, but let me tell you guys, I make a mean chicken noodle soup, okay? It is so good. Anyway, I'm making myself hungry. We have the shape of the build kind of together already. Very simple, boxy, it's a starter home. It's not gonna be too special, I guess. But we are adding some of the roof decals, which actually came with the pack. These are very nice roof decals and they come in handy, I would say so. But this was like a realization I had while building this, especially once I get into the interior of the build. There's not too many interior build buy items in this pack, and I made that realization the last time I've done this with a larger build, okay? The one I just mentioned a few minutes ago. And I couldn't believe that I actually forgot about that. Like, there isn't really much furniture for one, and there isn't much decor items. It really shines with the exterior items, honestly. So I guess if you haven't gotten this pack yet and you've kind of been on the fence, it's gonna really depend on your play style. For me, build buy I love the exterior items, the windows and the doors. I feel like they come in handy, and I use that picket fence a lot. So if you like that kind of Victorian style, definitely you should get this pack, or you should at least consider it. I'm not going to tell you what pack to get or not. I'm just going to tell you my honest opinion, right? But if you are an interior decorator and that's where you feel like you shine and you love doing that stuff, then I don't know if this pack is going to be very beneficial to you. And if you were a gameplay simmer, obviously this is a game pack and it has a whole storyline for you to explore. And I think in itself is probably a pretty decent deal. I just don't know about the replayability, because I know that's a big factor in a lot of us as gamers, right? We want to spend money on things that we can use more than once and enjoy more than once. For Create a Sim players, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I very rarely ever even get into Create a Sim, like maybe once a year. That's really how much I create Sims in this game. So I can't really speak to those items. Back to the build though, here you can see I am adding some flooring underneath the roof, and I do that so that you can get this nice floor or exterior trim. You can't get that trim unless you have flooring on top. So usually when you have a first floor and a second floor, you add that trim, right? But for single stories, you don't get that, but that flat room tool acts as like a roof and it's completely free, so that really helps when you're trying to add a little bit of extra details and oomph to your build. Now we're at the point where I decided I'm just gonna make this a full-on green Victorian with the green siding from base game. It's such a pretty green and I don't use it often enough. Also, if you can tell, a lot of these things are being highlighted yellow because they are on the verge of being deleted. Oh no, I hate that glitch thing. I don't even know if it's a glitch or if it's just systematic at this point. I can't keep track, okay? But it's kind of sucky, and sometimes it happens on interiors if you just want to change the paint in a room or something and you have items just deleting all over the place. I use a workaround with the Better Build By mod by Twisted Mexi, which honestly guys, it's always linked down in the description below if you're ever curious. But that has a feature where you can pretty much protect deletion, and it's kind of weird because if you turn it on, you have to remember to turn it off after you're done using it, because I like to hit Control Z a lot, but if that's on, it's going to give you a system error because obviously you told the game that I don't want anything to delete. We're now working on the floor plan, which I don't usually leave in my speed builds. However, recently I have gotten some feedback from some of you guys that you are curious as to how I do my floor plans, which honestly, thank you. I'm so flattered. I feel like floor plans are what I am the worst at in this game. I really feel like I have other strengths and things, but to think that some of you guys really like my floor plans, that blows my mind. You guys are so sweet. Picking out the flooring and wallpaper in here though was the first indication where I was like, oh, there's just nothing in here from Strangerville that I can use on interiors. There's some tiling, I think I have that in the bathroom, but that's pretty much it. At some point I got into the mindset that the sim moving in here is probably a sim who's interested in cracking the code and going through the steps and motions. So I pulled out this item here, this desk with the computers and things, and that gives you the ability to, you pretty much place bugs on people and then you listen in on them, and it'll give you kind of clues and stuff to the mystery of Strangerville. Oh yeah, we also have that fun shower tub combo that I was thinking twice about, but it does end up in there. I didn't know what else to do. As you can see, we're kind of bouncing around the interior, exterior, and all that stuff, and that's pretty typical fashion for me in these starter homes. I tend to leave landscaping for the very end because I use the debug and really lean into that secret menu in The Sims. A lot of those items are very cheap and cost 0 simoleons, so it's really good to get your essentials out of the way and make sure you have everything your sim needs to survive. Speaking of surviving, here is our kitchen. It actually has a lot of counter space that I did not get to clutter up because obviously we're on a budget. But it's really open to interpretation, and maybe your sim's collecting things and you need a place to display them or just store them. So there you have it. We're going to pick out some cabinets, I think. Definitely base game, because we don't get cabinets and counters in this pack. And I think I find like a post-it note or something that I end up kind of placing on the fridge. It doesn't like slot to the fridge or anything. And if your sim opens the fridge, it's going to stay there and float there because that's a debug item, but it's kind of cool nonetheless. When we get to the bedroom of this build though, the bedroom is very bland. I am not happy with it at all. One, I don't know if I love that green wallpaper, but I also think that might be fun for a storyline because maybe the sim was like, I have to just take what I can get if I want to get in here and try and solve this mystery. That's all I care about. I just need a place to lay my head. I just don't know if I would have chosen that otherwise. And of course we're stuck with the base game beds, which I feel like we need a revamp of those beds. I'm surprised that when they gave us 650 new swatches of things that they didn't touch any of the beds. That's a little suspicious, okay? Especially since that happened after the Lovestruck expansion pack was released. You would think our sims would want a little more extra love in the bedroom, right? That was a fun update and all, but I also still feel like there could have been a little more, but maybe we'll get some more in the near future. Who knows? As for the next part of this series, I have a few ideas cooking and some suggestions from you guys, but please keep them coming. If there's a world you're just dying to see a starter home in, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to get to it. I do plan on tackling every single world, but if there's one you want to see sooner rather than later, let me know because I will make sure we get to it. It has been such a fun challenge because for a really long time I wasn't really doing limited pack builds, and if I did, it was very few and like far and in between. So doing it more often is definitely making me feel a little more comfortable with base game and really testing my build skills. And it's actually allowing me to kind of put these packs under more of a lens, and I am learning so much from it, and I really appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Now I know this build isn't technically spooky or fall or Halloween themed, but it is Strangerville, and I felt like that was good enough for October. October's not over yet though, and I do have many more planned, and I'm really excited to get to them. Here's one redeeming quality for Strangerville. It does come with a rug. However, it does have some kind of crazy swatches, but if you're into that, it's totally fun. And especially if you do like a decades build where it's retro, like this rug here is very good for like something like in the 70s, 60s, maybe even 50s, you know? So at least we have that. Laying out this living room was such a struggle for me because this really weird bump out was just kind of driving me crazy. But I didn't want to have that bump out in the bedroom, so we stick a bookshelf in there. You could also put a plant or something. I don't think we get a TV in here because I imagine the sim, one, obviously I couldn't afford the TV after getting the bathroom and I think the bedroom stuff taken care of. But I don't think the sim would actually be spending the time watching TV. Their time is better spent, you know, going after the mother plant. And here is the awful bedroom. It's carpeted. I don't use carpet very often, but I felt like it just fit here in this home for some reason. And we're trying to figure out a base game bed. We end up with this one, I think. That artwork is from Strangerville as well, but pretty much that's going to be it for the interior. There's really nothing else that gets added. As you can see, a lot of the items in the catalog are turning red because I no longer can afford some of the nice things in life. And that made me think about Christmas shopping and gift shopping and all of that good stuff for the holidays coming up. I really need to get started, and I keep saying that every week, but I don't make any progress on it. I have some ideas of what I'm getting people, but have you guys started your Christmas shopping? I know someone who knows someone who has been done since July with their Christmas shopping, and honestly, I want to be that. I try to do that every year. I tell myself I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna figure it out, but I end up, not doing it, and yikes. Here I am debating changing the size of the bedroom to kind of try and save simoleons, but I didn't want to redo some of the roof pieces and kind of go with that, because I think at this point I had to turn off mods for some kind of update. I can't remember. I built this one a minute ago, so something happened. Looking back on this now, the lot that I'm building on has like this natural terrain paint that you cannot get rid of, which is kind of annoying to me, but I also get annoyed all the time when terrain paint doesn't blend into the surrounding areas, so I guess I can just never be happy. It's just, I'm always going to complain about something, I guess. But instead of fighting it, I leaned into it and was able to line up the stairs with that kind of natural pathing that kind of just happens here, and that was fun. Now we are landscaping. This is the last stop on the speed build. I'm just pulling out some of those debug items using the tool mod to resize to copy, because with the debug menu you can't really hold shift and keep clicking just like you can with the regular catalog. But we, work around it, because when there's a will, there's a way. Strangerville does have some good debug landscaping items, so at least we also kind of have that going for us. Especially if you really want to blend into the world like I'm doing here. I'm trying to pull out the flowers and trees that I see around and just kind of make it look a little more cohesive, and not like this build was just plopped down out of the sky and it doesn't really belong. It's very purple. We definitely pull out a lot of the purple and flowers and things in the surrounding areas, and now that I'm looking at it, it's definitely giving Barney the dinosaur. Which reminds me, okay, I grew up with Barney. Here's a little rant for you guys at the end of the video where, this is the part I get rambly, but I was scrolling through, was it Facebook Reels or Instagram? I was probably Facebook Reels, because I like to do that during work. Don't tell my boss. Anyway, I got an ad for a new Barney. It's like an animated Barney, and I was like, no, what is this? I can't. As someone who grew up on Barney and knew all of the words to the songs when they were 2, that is terrifying to me. I don't know why. Maybe you guys have seen it and you can sound off in the comments below. Or if you also grew up with Barney, let me know. Or am I just aging myself at this point? I digress. We have moved on to pulling out base game items for our landscaping, but this is pretty much what it ends up being. We're adding bushes because I tend to do that in all my builds. Maybe I don't add the bushes? I don't remember. I think I was like adding the bushes and I said, you always frame everything with these damn bushes. And I was like, okay, do something different. And then in my last build, which I actually built after this build, so I kind of like flopped my builds this week. It's kind of crazy, but it was in a autumnal blue 2-door home, and I literally did that and just framed everything with bushes. I can't help it. I just like the way it looks. I didn't really put anything in the backyard, but there is plenty of space for you guys to add any activities you need back there, whether it's gardening, if you want a swimming pool, you can put it back here, or you name it. The sky is literally the limit. But that's the beauty of starter homes, isn't it? That you can just take it and kind of make it your own, make your own tweaks and changes. And honestly, the game gives you like curveballs, so you never know what you're going to need sometimes, and all of a sudden you need to build a rocket for some reason. At least that's what used to happen for me in my gameplay, because I'm unhinged like that. I guess we're adding some dirt around, and I think we almost have all of our final details here, which is very exciting. I hope you guys really did enjoy this build. I guess we're going to play around with some colors. We have about another minute or so before we start playtesting, because that's what we do now. We do a little walk. That's how I walk through the build a little bit. Oh, I guess we do add some like of this roof details. I couldn't remember if I kept this or not, so I guess we'll find out. Any hoot, this build is up on the gallery if you guys want to grab it. My gallery ID is Symtherin, and a lot of the times these builds go up on the gallery before I post them on here, so if you want to follow me there and, you know, get little sneak peeks, please do so. I definitely don't mind. I just know if I don't upload it right away, I will forget and you will yell at me. But that's okay. Please yell at me if I forget. I need that. Anyway, let's jump into live mode. Hi again, and welcome back to another playtesting with Sim. We are here in Strangerville. Obviously, you guys know that because we just finished building this starter home. So this should be an easy playtest, I think. We don't really have much. So she's already going in and finding herself a book. Is she going in? Is she not going in? Okay, go here. You can't go in. It might be this debug item.
Goodbye.
Go here? Yep, it was the debug rug. That is good to know. So I know we can definitely sit here. Very easy playtesting. Let's... Do I have to purchase a bug? I don't have enough funds. Oh, that's right. Starter home. Mother load. I wish I could do that in real life. I just want to see, make sure this works. I have to place a bug on another sim. Okay, so maybe we'll do that later. First, let's try and cook something. Can you guys guess what we're gonna cook? Tortilla, veggie dogs. This is such a simple home. Obviously, it's a starter home, so it has plenty of opportunity for you guys to come in and fix her up or make it your own. And of course, we're in Strangerville, so I really feel like the mixes of these like dark greens, funky yellows, and earthy tones is kind of the vibe here. Beautiful. We've got our veggie dogs. I'm gonna actually place it here so you can sit and then eat. You're not gonna want to eat there, are you? That's a shame. Well, she was able to sit there, so I prefer eating on the couch too. Next up, we're just gonna test out this like super disgusting bathroom. We've got a flower peeking in on the floor here. Just ignore that. Saving your tortilla dog for later, right on the sink in this awful disgusting bathroom. That's beautiful. Great. Love it, Sim. You can't get to the tub. It's probably because of this toilet. So let's troubleshoot. If we squeeze it over, can we get to the bathtub? No. Does the toilet need to be on the other side? And then let's just move this here. I'm out of curiosity, and then we'll move it back. You still can't get into it. Does it work at all? It doesn't even work at all. Okay. You know what? Is it the flowers? I think it was the flowers. Okay. But I do think that the toilet needs to be on this side of the tub. Welcome, wagon. Welcome to Strangerville. We'll do that. You do that while we figure this bathroom out. If I put the toilet back over here, but squeeze it closer to the sink, let's see if that'll still work. Take a brisk shower. Ooh, fruitcake. We're just gonna stick it in the fridge. Okay, great. That works. Perfect. Oh, let's plant a bug on Betsy. Okay, we get it. They look absolutely deranged. And the tortilla dog is still on the sink. Well, that looks like it was successful. Great. So, let's make sure we can do this. I don't think we need to sleep, actually. Let's relax. I don't know why I always hit sleep. And I'm pretty sure we can try on outfits, too. Again, I'm still scared to go into Create a Sim and try any of that, so bear with me. But perfect. Everything looks functional. Let's listen on Betsy, even though she's right here. This is functional. So, if you guys want to, you know, fight the mother and explore Strangerville, you have a functional home in a starter budget. This build is up on the gallery. My gallery ID is Symtherin. Thank you guys again for watching and hanging out with me. Let me know what starter home you would like to see next, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye! So Betty said, don't worry where the money came from. It's fine. Nobody is gonna find out. Suspicious. And she's still right outside our door freaking out. So because I had all of those infected over, This person here came over, Lexi Daniels, and said that traces of infection have been detected in your refrigerator. We have confiscated it and all of its contents. There goes my veggie dog and fruitcake. A refund has been issued for any inconvenience this may have caused. I can't even go into build mode to get another one because I'm not authorized to do so while being investigated. Are you guys leaving? There is nothing to see here. Everything is within normal operating levels. Please abstain from going near the secret lab. Have a nice day. Ridiculous.